Today we are going to dive into understanding the different archetypes of characters in a movie. So when I talk about archetypes, what are these? Like you wonder, oh, archetypes. Archetypes, of course, these are different personalities. It just means different personalities. Of course, when you're writing about your characters in a movie, you're going to express them to be as different persons, like they will be having different personalities. And being that this you're building characters with different personalities, it means you are going to have different archetypes. So today we are going to delve into understanding the different archetypes of characters that you can write about or that you can find or create in a film. Okay, so follow me as we continue with this conversation so that you can understand the many types, and so that when you're writing, you know the kind of characters you are pushing in your story. Okay, yes, so let's start by the first type of character, the reluctant champion. Yes, the reluctant champion. The reluctant champion, this is a hero who has never asked for the challenge. So this, of course, this is the person who is in a movie. Like when you're writing your character, unapata, this is a character mwenye una expect ata deliver something, because he's a champion but ametulia tu chini. Yeye hataki kusumbuliwa, ako tu. So what does he do? They often start off resistant and overwhelmed, but circumstances force them into action. So something happens yenye inafanya inabidi sasa umse anachukua usukani, anaenda kudeliver. So a good example is like Spider-Man. Spider-Man inaanza umse anakuwa reluctant, like mimi sitaki kuonyesha powers zangu, mimi si kwa hivyo, hapana, sina ubaya, like I don't want to show off my powers, just relax guys, I will show you later on, like not now. Then circumstance happens, like maybe a sister is kidnapped, or a sister is kidnapped, a girlfriend is kidnapped, or something happens in their life, or a wife. So unapata umse sasa hiyo ndo time atajionyesha. Somebody like Liam Neeson amefanya such kind of movies. When the daughter is kidnapped, there is that movie yenye anafanyaga ya daughter yake sana kila saa. Unashindwa umse kila saa daughter yake anashindaga tu akidnapiwa, alafu alikuwa tu mtu ametulia, and then all of a sudden ametokezea, ameenda akienda kusave daughter, ndo unapata the skill yake inatokea. So ana become a champion and a hero when he saves the city, kama Batman ama kama Spider-Man akisave the city. That is when tunakuwa like, so this is the guy na amefanya na amekuwa a champion. So kuna huyo mtu mwenye hataki kujionyesha. When it starts ako like no, I'm not going for this, and then all of a sudden a circumstance happens that forces him or her to become who he or she is supposed to be, and save the city or save the world or save that particular thing he wants to save in that particular movie. So that is the reluctant champion. The next type of character we have is the straight edge character. Who is character mwenye ako straightforward, hakuna cha story cha kuvuka nini, mambo ya integrity, mambo ya straightforwardness, like somebody who is very open. These are characters who follow the rules and are often, they act on a moral compass, like they lead the story in a moral straightforward way. Hawa si watu wanarukati kwenda huko na huko, hapana, ni this is the direction to go, this is how we are going, and this is how things are going to happen. So a good example ni kama ukiangalia, for example, Captain America in Avengers. Yeye ni mtu alikuwa straightforward, like let's do this thing, this is how the rule wants us to do, this is how we are going to deal with this person, and this is how we are going to deal with him by the book and by the rules. Okay, so kuna kuagana those kind of people. Even when you come to even these other movies that zenye see maybe fiction or action drama movies, unapata this is a character mwenye amesema this is the direction we are going, and this is how we are doing things by the book. So when you're writing your characters and you write your characters and you find your characters are living by the rules of the book, these are the character you call them, their attribute is attributed as a straightforward characters. So the type of character, the archetype is a straightforward character. Then there is a pro. A pro character is always ready for the duty. These are characters wenye wanatokeaga in a movie, they are ready to do, they have a skill set, or maybe they have a certain expertise, and they're expected to deliver a certain job. So these are personality of characters whom are skilled or have an expertise in a certain field. For instance, tukiwa na mtu kama an example kama James Bond anakuwaga ready for the work. So of course kuna kuwaga na issue imetokea kwa certain place, then what happens, yeye ndo anaenda kudeal na hiyo kitu. So unapata anatafutwa na the intel ama the whatever those departments za polisi zinamtafuta aende solve a certain issue. So unapata the same thing happening with Ethan Hunt is a character in Mission Impossible acted by Tom Cruise. So pia yeye anapewa a duty, like sasa because wanajua ukimpeleka mission fulani ata deliver, so anapewa duty na anaenda ana fulfill. So character wako kama ni character mwenye anapewa duty na anaenda ana fulfill. So you will be studying, looking at these characters when you mix ndani ya movie yako. So of course it's something that they are very, very resourceful, and they are very confident, and they are rarely caught off guard. These are people wanakoga ready all the time. So when you're writing your character and you're trying to show or portray a pro character, you know you're portraying somebody who is ready for the job and who is very, very resourceful and very reliable. Hey, matamushi. Anyway, then we have the other character is called the activist. So when you talk about the activist, this is a person who is a character who fights against any systemic injustices or oppressiveness. So easy systemic injustices can come in form of maybe pale kwa job penye anafanya job kunaweza kuwa na some bit of injustices, or kama ako in a space whereby, tuseme for instance ako kama ni in a government whereby anajaribu kufight against the oppressive systems. So you can have a character who is an activist, and when you have a character who is an activist, of course kuna kwa kama hii movie ya Gen Z na fight okay. By the way, mnaonaje movie ya Gen Z? Kukiwa tuna movie ya Gen Z, like wase wapige venye movie ya Gen Z venye waliamua wakaenda pale hivyo, wakaingia parliament, wakaingia state house. Hiyo movie unaonaje wase? Wadau, mnaonaje? Simuandika hapo kwa comments tuone kama ni kitu tunaweza fanya in the future. Si ndio? We have to tell this story anyway. So hiyo tutakuwa na activist, of course. Na this is somebody who is fighting against the system, whether the system could be an organization, the system could be in the government, the system could be in a family setup. Okay, so that is an activist, somebody who is always fighting against any oppressive or maybe injustice system. Then we have another type of the archetype of a character is called the vigilante. So this is a character the city deserves, or a town, or maybe the country deserves. Huyu ni ule hero mwenye anatokelezeaga, and then the city is anakujaga always at the right time to save the city. So for instance, so these people of course they operate outside the law. Hawa operate na ile law ya city yenye ina operate ama law of the country. They operate outside the law, but they come and bring justice to the city, to the system, through their heroic actions and performances. So for instance, mtu kama Batman, hii ndio inakuja na watu kama Batman, Spider-Man, akina Superman, Wonder Woman. How they operate, they bring justice to the city, but they have to operate outside the law. Kama ata Flash, unaona. So these are people wenye hawako recognized in the system of the government, but they operate to bring justice to the city through their own means. Okay, so this is the vigilante. So when you're writing your story and you're writing your character, uta understand kama huyu ni character mwenye ana work against the law but is there to bring justice through his own means, yeye ni vigilante. Okay, so of course they have that thin line between moral ambiguity and heroism. So ni mtu anafuata morality, but pia akona bit of an ambiguous morality, like so in between hapo katikati, but he's a person who brings, of course at the end of the day he has to bring justice to the city, whether the means he's going to use, we don't care, but of course wacha justice ipatikane. Then the other type of character archetype we look at, the underdog. Yeah, so the underdog is usually, this is a movie, I know many people love writing, especially people who write about movies to do with talents, people who have talents, people who have gifts. Kuna watu wanakuwa overlooked, like hey, mse ati mse fulani ati kama sema for example it's a musical, so mse anaimba oh my God, anaimba kwa bafu alafu anasema sasa huyu hata imba kweli, sasa anakuwa oppressed, na maybe kuna gift imepeanwa pale juu yenye anafaa kwenda kuwin hiyo gift, so this girl or this man pushes himself very hard through the thick and thin, through perseverance, through grit, until an achieve whatever an achieve. So ni mtu mliko mnaona pale hivyo nikaa haizifanya, but at the end of the day when it comes out ni mtu ametoka from the bottom, started from the bottom, now we're here, started from the bottom, now we're here. Okay, you go listen to the music, but anyway, so an underdog is a person who starts from the bottom and goes all the way to achieve greatness in the from that particular thing. Ni mtu mwenye alikuwa amedharauliwa alafu anakuja na achieve greatness through his skills, through his talent and stuff like that. Then they of course they have to go through a lot of problems before they reach at that peak. They go through a lot of problems and until now when they reach at it, the triumph, they reach the ultimate triumph. That's when you see, oh wow, this man kumbe alikuwa afanya hivi. Kama ni msee wa kucheza soka, mnaona msee alianza anakaa mnono, but kumbe alikuwa alienda akawork hard in the gym until akagain the right body, akawork hard even with the kind of exercises he was doing until he got the right body, the right posture, and he's able to deliver in terms of the talent and skills zenye ana deliver and ana emerge as the winner. Okay, so that's another character type. Then we have the other character archetype we have is the rebel. So the rebel, this is a character mwenye anaonaga watu wote wenye hufuata sheria ni wajinga sana. Yeah, he looks at people who follow the rules as champs, like hao ni nani, mimi sizifuata sheria ndo nifanye hiki kitu. So you see this, I'll give an example. You see these movies zenye zinakuaga na msee mwenye ni maybe ni karau. Of course you expect this is a police officer to follow the law to go arrest criminals, but msee hafuati the law, anajua venye hao criminals atawapata, anajua hawa sasa nikifuata the law sitawashika, so I'll go use my crooked means, but at the end of the day he brings justice. So crooked means zake, the end justifies the means. Okay, so they don't follow the law. So there are people who just are defiant and makes they are very defiant, and this makes them very charismatic. Unajua venye watu wanapendaga watu wenye ni defiant, especially to the law. And this part of the world especially in Africa and maybe some other developing countries, we normally look at people wenye wana defy the law. Mtu mwenye anaweza piga karau kofi, tunasema that is our man. But you don't know, guys. You are, yeah. Sometimes I don't know. It's so unfortunate, but anyway, people have to live anyway. But anyway, so these are characters who are very defiant of the law, but they appear very charismatic, and they are going to make with their own means. They are going to bring justice, or to bring that particular thing they have to bring on the table for the story to continue. Okay, so that is the rebel. And another one is the lovable loser. Yeah, so this is a character yenye me and you can be able to relate very well, because these are characters when very they're very cringeworthy, like they are very clumsy, social, awkward, and when you talk about being cringy, we talk about being awkward and but they are very lovable, like in terms of how they do their things. So wako na some bit of realism how they do their things. So unapataga ini wale characters wenye wako shule, whatever they are doing in maybe in a certain space, they're just doing their thing the way they think it's better or it works for them. But you find that when you una expect to achieve or gain something out of it, they don't gain it because of how awkward or maybe how embarrassing they are, and then they end up losing it. So but you still love them because anyway, amejaribu by the way. Yeah, so we have lovable losers. These are just characters who don't care about how this the process of things will flow. They are just always awkward. In terms of how they're doing their things, they don't even have that bit of moral sense, or maybe things to do with having that heroic ability to push things. For them, they're just living life, but they don't get whatever they want. So for them, they're just there to enjoy life and move on. So most of the time you find they are very lovable because of how realistic they are. They are very realistic in terms of how they deliver their lines, how they deliver their actions in the movie, in terms of we are there to root for them to win, but they don't win. Yeah, these are characters to una watch huyu character anatoka, maybe there's something anafa deliver, unataka umse a win something, but because of the way ana behave, because of the way akotu amejiachilia, we love them, but at the end of the day they don't win. Ni wale characters tunaonaga kwa movie. For instance, let me look for an example. A better example is whereby you have a character mwenye unapata umse anaenda kama wa 3 Idiots. This person unataka umse a win, apate hii kitu, but now unaenda mtu mwenye anaenda kupata hiyo kitu ni mtu different. You remember when I was talking about breaking the rules of storytelling, and then when you are doing your character, when you are telling the story about how your character needs to end, you don't end the movie with the character getting whatever they want, but ile struggle yenye mse amepitia mnasema mse na amejaribu, at the end of the day they don't get it, somebody else gets it. Okay, so you find this is a person tumempenda ana struggle, and then sometimes anakuwa na very embarrassing moments in the life of through the life of the movie, and sometimes anakuwa na some bit of awkward moments, na something very embarrassing and something very awkward, and sometimes pia akona a lot of fear. So muna end up to kusema like, okay fine, maybe amepata hajapata, so you just lovable loser, hajapata but amejaribu, ametry, yeah, we love him, we still love him. Okay, so there are those type of characters that you watch in a movie, and you are able to just understand like, okay. So of course these are the many types of character archetypes that you can be able to study and understand while doing your writing. Now of course in a movie you can have several, you're not limited to have one type. You can have maybe at least 3. Maybe the main character is a hero. Then we have another one who is a pro inside the movie. The other one is a lovable loser. So in a movie you can have those character archetypes just in there, and don't be afraid of experimenting with your characters and pushing them through the boundaries of doing things that maybe are beyond what you think they can be able to do. And yeah, guys, keep on creating, bana. Keep on creating. Keep on writing, keep on creating, and let's create, because creation is what we were created to create, to multiply and subdue the earth. So we are here to subdue. So we are subduing by creating. Yeah, so anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions or anything you can look forward to maybe us having, or maybe the discussion we might be having to be able to grow one another, kindly reach out to my inbox, reach out to the email, to the number on your screen, and let's have a discussion, guys. Okay, let's have a discussion. Let's help one another and support one another and build this system of content creation, and also the economy of content creation in this world, in this continent, in this country. Until the next time, see you guys. Adios.